Hey everyone, my name is CoachArunThukral. I'm a life and a leadership coach, and today I have decided to pick up a topic called as vision, which means what it takes to become a visionary leader. I'm sure if you are currently working as a leader in any organization, at any business that you are owning, or you are even a student, this video is going to be of great use to you because you would be hearing this word vision, visionary. You have to think strategically. Vision is something that will help you to achieve your goal. If you are listening all these kind of statements around you, I'm going to tell you what exactly vision means. I will also help you to understand this with a case study, and then we will understand certain concepts that will help you to get complete clarity about what is visionary, what is vision, and how to create that vision for yourself, for your organization, or if you are dealing with a brand, product, whatever it may be, you can do it for that. And I want that after you listen to this entire story and the entire concept, I want you to prepare your own story and work towards building vision not only for yourself but for your organization, for your business, or whichever field that you are in. And don't forget to share back on the comment section that how did this learning help you to achieve that. Now, let's first understand theoretically what vision is. In simple word, vision is something all about that you dream of, that you want to achieve in your life. It can be an organizational dream, it can be an individual dream. Now, once you have the dreams in your mind that you want to achieve, you first decide which direction you have to go. And in order to achieve that particular goal, you take decisions, you set certain values, you set certain cultures, and basis that you take all the actions which will take you to that direction where that goal is. So in simple word, this is vision is all about. But in reality, when we start working towards our vision, we come across various challenges, difficulties, uncertainties, and many more things that we never thought of or we never imagined that it would come. And that's where visionary leaders keep all these things in mind by understanding those challenges, and they continuously work, rework, go again and again in building their vision so that they achieve the ultimate goal. Well, to make you understand this, I will take you through a story from our own Indian culture, from our own Indian business, that will give you an idea that how an organization that was just struggling to live, struggling to survive in a very hostile environment, they not only achieved their numbers, but they surpassed the market projections, which means they grew 5 times of their business and they became one of the most important business unit for that organization. This is what I'm going to tell you. So don't go anywhere. Please like and subscribe this channel if you find the content is engaging and making utility to you. So the first thing that comes to my mind when it comes to building a vision, it comes from ideas. It comes from your innovation, your creativity. But is innovation is all about ideas when you are building a vision? Let's find out. It's actually no. First of all, if you are building a vision, it starts with aspiration. If you are a leader, how much aspiration you have to achieve that particular goal, which means how much hunger you have, how much you need, how much it is that necessity for you to achieve that goal. If you don't have this, then your ideas are of no value, because every year there are so many business ideas, so many people come across, but only few are able to succeed. And that is because people who succeed have got aspiration goals. That means they want to achieve something more than anything else in their life. So if you want to build a vision, you want to build a direction, you have a dream, a real dream, you need to have that aspiration to achieve that dream. The second comes people, which means how you will achieve it. You cannot do it all alone. You need the support of people around you. How you inspire people, how you identify the right people who will come and help you in achieving this. And finally, in the last, it's your idea. That means your first aspiration, your self-motivation, followed by the right people around you who will help you in achieving it and who are motivated enough, and finally it's the idea. So if you have these three ingredients ready, that means your vision planning is absolutely going in the right direction. So to give you an example, I hope if you see this picture, this gentleman is known as Steve Jobs. Now, he had a very clear vision that he wanted to create something in computers which is going to be outstanding, which is going to be something that never has been done before. And that's how his first idea of Macintosh came. And his aspiration was to create something that refined the entire computer age technology. What we see as smartphone is his brainchild. So can you see the kind of aspiration such people have can make and break the entire industry? And that's how they move ahead with energy, with people, with their ideas, with their thoughts to achieve their dreams. Now, to do this, today I'm going to share one of the case studies, one of the stories from the Indian scenario, that is Chola. I don't know how many of you have heard. Chola Mangalam is a finance company that finance vehicles, and they are a part of Murugappa Group, which is a $1 billion company. And Chola Vehicle Finance is the smallest part of this entire big group. So if I put it like this, it is just contributing 140 crore out of the big billion business that they have. But this business, when it was struggling, when they were just on the verge of likely to get closures, there is a gentleman, his name is Vasudevan. He created a history in the organization that in 1998, when the business turnover was only 140 crore and it was at the verge of closure, he moved the business with the right strategy, with the right vision in his mind, from 140 crores to 800 crores in just a span of 4 years. So his name is none other than P.N. Vasudevan, who was heading this business unit at that point of time. His visionary thinking made all this possible. So today we are going to learn everything about what was the situation at that time, how he faced those situations, what did he do, and how he created the difference. So what are the challenges at Chola Vehicle Finance in 1998? We are in 1998 right now. Let's imagine this company was only 140 crore when Vasudevan took over, and he was just managing this show, and it was under a lot of competition from banking sector as well as NBFC, which is non-banking financial sector, and they were having assets which is more than 1,000 crores. So when you have assets more than 1,000 crores, it means your lending power, your power to decide and dictate was higher than Chola Mangalam, which is only at 140 crores. To add to this challenge, apart from the competition, in 1997, it was a time when all NBFCs were under scrutiny from the RBI, which means there were a lot of things which were happening in terms of fund laundering, that lot of NBFCs were closed at that time. And only Chola Finance was not impacted because they were at 140 crore. They were not very big. They were not having that high number. So that means they could survive at that time when the regulations were happening. And that's where their success story came. And the success story was because they were risk averse. They were not taking risks. They were not jumping in, reaching to 1,000 odd crore. That is why their cautious approach in finance helped them to get away from the eyes of RBI regulations. So, which means past success is usually a limiter, which means if they had followed the same strategy of being conservative, not taking risk, if they continued like this, they would have been wiped out from the market. So as I said, past success is usually a limiter, which means you have to think differently. You have to think irrationally if you have to go up. That means you have to go completely against the previous thinking that made you successful if you want to do something bigger, something outstanding. And that's what Vasudevan did at that time, and his strategy was to take risk and go after challenges, which means he was exactly doing the opposite. Instead of becoming risk averse, he was becoming totally an arena where he wanted to take risk and build this business in a very higher way. So what did he do? He created a strategy. Now this is where the real example of vision planning comes in. So first, what he did, he conducted a SWOT analysis, which is simply strength, weakness, opportunity, threats. He identified what are their strengths, weaknesses, and what kind of threats that are looming around, like the RBI guidelines, like there are a lot of risk in finance business. 3, there could be a challenge that it was the smallest business unit of the big billion-dollar group. So why anybody would give them additional funds to take further risk, because a single spot on the face of this business unit would mean it is a spot on the entire organization, which is a big billion. So nobody was keen. So he did all the complete SWOT analysis, and then after doing the SWOT analysis, he started forming the priorities, what he has to do. So what he came out with a big picture that, okay, what is exactly I have to do to make this happen as a very big company in the next 3 to 4 years. Basis that, what idea came to his mind was target setting activity. Now, if you look at in most of the organization, the target setting activity is generally the top to bottom approach, which means the organizational top leaders think about what is their objective growth and what kind of products they are launching, and basis which they define the targets for the next year and hand it over to their managers. Their manager hand it over to down the line, and finally it reaches the last man who has no role to play. And even some companies, they do a reverse also. They ask people to give projection from the base, and then they mutually discuss, but finally the intention of the management, whatever target that they had decided, eventually they give that. So it's more of an eyewash activity to take targets and projections from the people in the bottom. So he thought about the same thing, that how he can involve his people in building the target if he has to have a differentiated strategy. So what did he did? He wanted to work on the mindset of the sales team. He never wanted to be the same way of an eyewash activity for them to do it. He wanted them to be 100% involved. But in doing so, the sales team was always skeptical whether whatever he's saying, does he meant by that? Is he going to betray us by taking the higher target and then pushing us out of this company, or he wants to just close the business? That's why he's giving us unachievable targets. So Vasudevan thought that if this is going to come, he has to motivate and inspire his team. He has to keep that fire on in their mind, in their heart, in their body, that they have to achieve this ambitious goal that he was planning. This is how visionaries think. This is how their aspiration to achieve their goals comes into play when they want to see their team successful. So he decided, at a time when a lot of companies were conservative in investing on people, he decided to conduct an annual kickoff meeting, which was basically the budget and target setting meeting. He gave the entire seriousness that all of them will have to work towards achieving the bigger goal that he has in mind. He said, forget whatever has happened in the past, it is gone by. What they have to look up is the future. And in doing so, he created an ambitious plan, and this ambitious plan was to do 200 or 300% to their growth targets. Not only that, he wanted them to have very high energy, excitement, and self-accountability in achieving those higher ambitious targets. You can imagine that if you are used to doing 10%, 20% growth, maybe 50% growth over last year, he's talking about 300, 500% growth, which was phenomenal and never heard before. And people were not ready to believe him. And that's where his aspirational push came into the idea with the kickoff meeting, motivational sessions, mindset sessions that he conducted, so that people can feel that yes, they can achieve it. And that's where the next thing started to fall in. And that next thing was dilution. I've seen in my experience many times that, leaders come, they motivate you, they just give you a lot of enthusiasm, energy, incentive, and many other push that you become charged up to achieve the ambitious goals. So did with Vasudevan. But he knew that there is going to be dilution in a in a way when people are motivated, when they go back into the marketplace, when they go and work, they realize that the market is same, the competition is same, the pricing challenge is same, the customer behavior is same. So nothing much has changed, and slowly that 200-300% starts to fade down to 175, 100, 60, 40, and many a times people just give up on the way. So it's called, when rubber meets the road, the reality bites, we go back to our normal form. But this is what was already in the mind of Vasudevan. So he knew that there are day-to-day pressures, there are commitments that will get diluted, deliverables will not be met, but aspirations should always remain high if they are going low. So in order to do that, he brought a radical thinking. See, I'm using the word again, thinking, radical thinking. So in this radical thinking world, what he decided, that he chose a word, removing escape button. That means, like, if we remove the escape button in our computer dashboard, what happens? You can't go back. So likewise, he called a press meet. He invited the press, and in that press meet, he declared his vision, that this is what his ambitious plans are for this year. And he made sure that his entire team was standing besides him when they are going to announce this. No doubt this is going to give a big buzz to the competition, but more than that, he was actually cutting down the escape buttons, that from here you have given your commitment to the world. From here it is only one way to go, and that is to go up. And that's where there was a public commitment of Chola's new growth targets, which means all escape buttons were removed. Therefore, what was the impact of this radical thinking? The impact of this radical thinking was that everyone knew about it. And when I say everyone, right from the office peon to the customer, to the stakeholders, to the dealers, to everyone who was walking into their office or where they were walking out, everybody knew that they have this ambitious target in their hand. And their dream targets are visibly displayed at every branch, customer, and at dealer place. So what is the impact of it? That employees were wearing badges and their targets were mentioned. So it was like 100, 300 badge was given to them. And finally, it was not just their mission or vision, it became a mission for everyone in the organization and even outside the organization who were associated with them. Can you see the level of aspiration this person has, that he wanted to achieve that bigger goal in his life? And this is where now we see what were the results. 12 out of 20 branches achieved their targets. Can you imagine? 12. That means 60% of the branches achieved their target. Chola grew by 21% in the first year, followed by 60, 85 and 80% for the rest of the 3 years, which they never thought of. And you would get amazed if you see the turnover figures. From 140 crores in 97, it became 170 crores in 1998, then 270 crore in the financial year 1999 to 2000, and 500 crores in 2000 to 2001, and 900 crore in 2001 to 2002. Can you beat this? A company which was just not taking risk, a company which was just about to get closed because of the RBI guidelines looming on their head, they not only achieved their targets, but they grew in such a way that a small business unit started to show that what all they can do. This is vision means. You are going in a direction where your dreams are, you are taking decisions where you have to go. And it's not over. What are the key learnings that comes? One is always prevent the dilution of strategy if you want to achieve something bigger. You know that there are going to be challenges, there are going to be failures, there are going to be difficulties, but you should know how to overcome that. Number two, structures maintain stability, but they also dictate the directions, which means you have to be irrational sometimes to create something bigger for you, for your organization or for your product. Number three, leaders fail to take radical changes because leaders aren't willing to let go of control. A lot of leaders feel that everything should be in their control, and that is why they are not able to take or give chances to their people who want to do more. A good leader is the one who gives empowerment, who gives accountability to their people so that they can achieve bigger things, and they allow them to do and experiment, fail, and learn from that. And that is what leadership is all about, not by holding the control. And last but not the least, this also suggests that find out in your organization, in your place, where you are saying no to your people. Because when they are coming with ideas, we say, no, it is not possible. No, it is not possible because of compliance. No, because we don't have budget. No, because this is not as per the policy. Find out which is workable. First, allow them to speak up. Finally, where are you making it difficult for them to get things done? A lot of people and leaders actually are the bottleneck to their own business. So find out where you have become a bottleneck. Become a facilitator, become an innovator, become a person who gives opportunities to others, and you see the results will come. I'm sure this story would have given you what aspiration means, what vision means, what strategy means. Now, let's understand what does it mean to have a vision. Let's understand now some concepts. From this story, we have a lot of learnings, but I'm going to give you some more idea. Number one, first you have to sense the opportunities and threats which are looming around in the marketplace, which is looming around in your business environment. And basis that, second thing that will happen is set the strategic direction, which means set those planning and action points which will help you to overcome the threats and meet those opportunities in the marketplace. Third, inspire others. That means inspire people to look beyond the current practices. Like the pace of Chola, they decided that they will be going 200, 300, 500% of growth, which is like challenging the current practice of 10 or 20% growth. In order to do these steps, there are few things that you have to do. Some simplifying the complex task by understanding the SWOT analysis. Find out what are the patterns that are emerging. This you will only know when you interview people, when you do study the market research, read magazines from your or articles from your own industry. They will give you a lot of patterns, followed by forcing events that may affect the organizational bottom line, which means what kind of changes are likely to come. Some economic policy is going to change, some supply chain, some war is happening. Anything and everything can impact your visionary planning, and for that you have to foresee the events, which means you have to have a forward planning. When it comes to strategic direction, encourage new ideas, which means, as I said, find out where you are saying no to people. Encourage new business. Define new strategies. Think newer ways of doing things. Like this gentleman Vasudevan in this current situation thought of going and taking risk when everybody was telling him not to take risk. In other words, taking more risk means involving a lot of problems, but he said no, he will go take risk and take a decision to move ahead because he wanted to become bigger, and finally make decisions with an eye towards the big picture. Then comes inspiring others. That means asking questions that challenge the status quo. This is one of the qualities of leader. Why means why we are here, why we are not there. Challenging the status quo. Number two, bring open to new ways of doing things. Understanding what is happening in the other industries, what all other places have become successful. Not necessary that your business has all the right things. You can take examples from other sectors, how they are shaping the new business strategy. Bring technology, bring new systems so that you learn the new ways of doing things. And lastly, bring an external perspective so that you have more thoughts, more fresh ideas to shape your vision in order to achieve the bigger goal. Well, I'm sure you would have really learned, enjoyed this session, and I hope you have that energy and now vision to create your own vision, how you can create it. Whether you are an individual contributor, you are a business owner, you are a business leader, or you are heading a big corporate organization, vision making is the key to your leadership, to your success, to your organization. If you have found this video relevant, useful, do write back into the comment section what have you learned and how you can work on your plan, and share your learnings with me. I look forward for your comments and feedback. Thanks a lot. Thanks for watching me.